Hi, I'm Charlie, and this is Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is available both as a podcast, wherever you get great podcasts, and on video on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men. So today, very pleased to have as my guest, Ben Holt. Ben,
hey,
morning.
How's it going?
Good
Thanks
to see
for
you.
having me.
Sure. Ben is an associate director at the Grand Avenue Club. The Grand Avenue Club is a nonprofit here in Milwaukee that helps adults dealing with mental health issues in the areas of education, employment, and enrichment. All right, so we'll talk about the Grand Avenue Club in just a little bit, but we like to talk about how we got here.
Mm-hmm.
So you were born in Madison.
Yep.
And then you moved here in 2011?
2006.
2006.
Yeah. Go to UW Milwaukee.
2006. So talk about growing up in Madison and then the subsequent move here to Milwaukee.
Yeah, I grew up in Madison, love Madison, and I really never spent a ton of time in Milwaukee outside of brewer games, coming here with the family and stuff like that. And couldn't get into Madison, was like, all right, well, I'll go to UW Milwaukee, maybe I'll transfer to Madison after a year or two. And I just fell in love with Milwaukee, just almost immediately, and just never came back. I mean, Madison's 70 minutes away. I go there all the time, family and friends still there.
Sure.
But Milwaukee I feel home now.
Okay. So you go to UWM, you get your degree, you get a master's degree in nonprofit management.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about, and you were working concurrently at the Grand Avenue Club as getting your master's.
Yeah.
So talk about the challenges of going to school and getting a master's degree and working full time.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting process. So I was working at this place called the Silver Spring Neighborhood Center, and I knew I wanted to help people, and there was a weird path to kind of get here. And while I was there, I was like, okay, nonprofits is what I want to do, but I need more tangible knowledge. Mm-hmm. So I started looking at programs and stuff, found that UW Milwaukee had this program for nonprofit management, and decided, all right, I got to go back there. And I had previously been on the what was called the Property Committee, which was like an extension of the board of the Grand Avenue Club, because I worked for a company called Cardinal Capital Management, which was a social housing developer. And so I was vaguely connected with them, and I reached out to the former executive director and was like, I'm going to school, I just need part-time work, is there anything available? So I kind of got started there just as a part-time gig, really didn't think much of it, and immediately loved working there. And I kind of went from part-time school, part-time work, full-time student, very quickly switched to full-time work, part-time student. So the first semester I did full-time, and then after that I was just doing, part-time classes, doing two or so a semester, and went from being just kind of like an operational assistant to becoming the operation manager, and then got promoted to associate director afterwards.
Great. So you mentioned Cardinal, so let's talk about your early career a little bit and how that got you on the path to Grand Avenue Club.
So my 20s were a bit weird. I mean, the plan for me growing up was to be a firefighter. My dad was a firefighter in Madison. I was actually a volunteer firefighter for a while in Maple Bluff. The process of being a firefighter is kind of a weird thing in Madison. It's about 2,500 applicants. They hire 50 to 100 every single time, but they only do it every 2 years or so. So I went through the process 4 times. I got to the final 100 each time, but I just never got there. So my 20s were a mixture of working at nonprofits and then weirdly working like in entertainment stuff, because right out of college I got this job at the Bud Light. So I was working for a couple of years. I wrote radio jingles. Like I was working for Milwaukee and Madison radio stations and wrote radio jingles. But I was also working nonprofit jobs and EMT.
Can you sing any of those jingles?
I do have a SoundCloud. And I won a state Addy for a
Really?
golden chicken jingle. It's one of the dumbest jingles I ever wrote.
Golden chicken jingle.
Golden chicken. It was very, very stupid. But so I was kind of going back and forth between these like fun entertainment jobs and nonprofit jobs. I worked with teens with intellectual or developmental disabilities, and I was kind of rotating between these two back and forth things. So I ended up getting a job at Cardinal Capital Management, which was a social housing developer. So it helped fund housing projects for a lot. They have the biggest low-income housing apartments in Wisconsin, intellectual or developmental disabilities, Native Americans, blind or deaf populations, any specialized housing. And that's where I first got connected to Grand Avenue Club and why I was on the building committee for that. And again, I was trying to figure it all out, and what I realized was I thought I wanted to be a firefighter, but the motivation was I wanted to help people, and
Right.
it kind of led me into like, okay, firefighting wasn't that path, but there's other paths to do the same thing, and that's kind of where I ended up. It led me to the master's in nonprofit management, and I'm very, very happy that that's kind of the path life took.
Right. So let's talk about the Grand Avenue Club. So talk a little bit about the mission and some of the work that you guys do here in Milwaukee and surrounding, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so we're part of this thing called the Clubhouse Model of Psychosocial Rehabilitation. So it's actually an international model. There's about 340 some clubhouses around the world in 32 countries. We're the only one in Milwaukee. There is one in Waukesha. There's two in Madison. There's a couple around the state. But essentially, we support adults experiencing mental illness. We're a specifically non-clinical model, which we have nothing against clinical models. We work with a lot of clinical organizations, but we do something a little bit different. So we focus on employment, education, and enrichment. So essentially helping folks go back to work, go back to school, and then a lot of folks with mental illness isolate, and it's really hard to go to school or work if you don't have a social circle, a community, all that stuff. So we have a lot of enrichment opportunities. We're open on all holidays. We do outings, building social friendships and all that stuff. We have recreation time. So it's basically, the way I look at it is, you come to the club, everything there is voluntary. There's no fees or anything like that. Just come and participate in something. And we have a lot of resources to help you, whatever your personal goals are. Some people need to go back to work and they're trying to find jobs. We can help with that. Some people have a job, but they don't have a social circle. So we have a lot of, community outings and stuff to develop friendships and social skills. And then some people are trying to go back to school. And to me, it's like, whatever you're working on, we have stuff to help. And that's kind of what we focus on. And again, we work side by side, staff and members together on everything. I mean, we have members on our board of directors, working in every level of the club. I mean, there's nothing that members can't participate in, even like our administrative stuff and our board stuff. We want people to be involved, and it's their clubhouse. And that's kind of the basis of the model is, you can come here when you want, participate how you want, but get engaged and feel like you're part of this community, and then whatever you're working on, we can support you.
Okay. And if people want to donate, what's the website?
GrandAvenueClub.org.
GrandAvenueClub.org. Great. All right. So we call this Serious People with Serious Jobs. Having a little fun. We're having a little fun today. So Ben, let me give you one of our aprons to put
Thank
on
you.
while you're covering up your Grand Avenue swag. Why don't you tell us what we're cooking today?
So at the club every day we have a culinary unit, and we cook a lot of meals. Like I said, we're open on holidays. We have recreation times, but we do breakfast and lunch every single day, and we're cooking what I would say is one of our most consistent meals, which is, there's a ton of names for this. We have literally like 15 different names for it at the club, but I call it eye in the middle. So it's the bread with the egg in the middle.
Okay.
And what's fun about this meal is, so we get most of our food from Feeding America, Takunair, Ebenezer Stone Ministry, and a couple other food sourcing places. And this meal, we cook with what we got.
Right.
So we all sit down together and look at our inventory. And this meal, there's the basic version, but you can zhuzh it up however you want. Sprinkle some meat on it, some onions, whatever you can do.
Okay. Great. All right. So we've done a little prep work. So give us a moment to get back in the kitchen, and we'll put together, what are we calling it?
Eye in the middle.
Eye in the middle. And I think we have some,
Or egg in the basket, as some others call it.
I've heard toad in the middle. I mean, all kinds of stuff. So give us a minute. Be right back. All right. So we're here in the kitchen. Ben is going to get started with everything. So we've got these are going to be potatoes at Brian. And we've got some turkey sausage. And the main event is over here. And Ben, take it away.
Our eggs in a basket. So the goal is to get your bread like that. So you can take any cup, you can even take a knife or just pull it out of there, but you just kind of press it down, cut out a little hole. What's nice about these two is sometimes we'll take these and we'll toast them up, and then you got little discs of toast that you put some butter and jam on or something like that.
Okay.
But you get these all ready, you got your eggs, and then you got your butter. So what I like to do is I like to butter everything down first.
Okay.
Put the bread on there, and you want to get the bread, soak some butter. Then you turn it over and get the other side of the bread going with butter. So because you're going to flip it, and you want to make sure that the other side sticks. So I'm just going to butter up some of this.
All right. Let's see. All
We have a flat top stove at the club, so we see that stuff every now and again.
Yeah, we have a high octane stove here. So you just leave these potatoes O'Brien to cook on one side. We'll put in the bread.
On the bread.
Or
make sure it soaks up some of that butter. And put some more butter down. So it's cooking a little bit. Okay. Flip it over. Make sure the other side's picking up some of that butter. Okay.
There we go.
And start cracking your eggs. Right in there.
All right. All right.
And you can throw on your dressings. This also could be when you put on your, if you got some peppers or onions or whatever you got sitting around.
All right, so we got a little salt, pepper, garlic.
Well, a little extra pepper. I like pepper.
There we go. All righty.
So the eggs on the bottom are kind of hardening up right now. Ooh, that's not coming great.
Hey, let's get it another minute. We're not in a hurry.
Yeah, I just want to burn the bottom, but this one might be ready. When the bottom's cooked, it's really easy to flip. And that one is a little bit long. I'll wait for the others. Okay. The best part of this is when you bite into it, you keep a little bit of gooiness on the inside, and then you kind of dip the bread into the yolk. Some of it in there. These two are looking pretty good. There we go.
All right. We got 2 down.
2 down.
Alrighty.
One more to go.
Look at that pro flip.
4th try's the charm.
Alright, so
then let's give a little bit of time on the other side. And these are almost ready. It's a very quick meal. We got to make, 30 breakfasts in about 20-30 minutes. So when we sometimes we really go all out, but this is a pretty, we got a big flat top, so you can make, 15 of these in 5 minutes.
All right, so I think we're just about ready. So we'll go ahead and give us a minute, get our potatoes out, our turkey sausage, and then we'll put it all together. I'll be right back and give it a taste.
All right, we're back. So, Ben, tell us what we got here.
We got eggs in a basket, or eye in the middle, whatever you want to call it. We got sausages, and we got some potato and peppers.
It says potatoes O'Brien, turkey sausage, because it's healthier, and eye in the middle. So,
and this is a very traditional club breakfast. I would say we have this probably twice a week, or
so
something
this is
similar.
what you guys serve at Grand Avenue Club for breakfast.
Yep.
Yum. All righty, let's give her a taste.
So I like to cut a little bread off and then dip it in the yolk.
I got a lot of yolk there.
Like that.
Yum. Perfectly done eggs. One of the things that I've learned from cooking shows that I've watched over the years is everything tastes better with a fried egg.
Yeah. We like to get pretty clever at the club. It's kind of fun. I always joke that we get all this stuff from Feeding America, Kunia Year, and Ebenezer Stone Ministry. And every Monday we do this thing called menu planning. So we sit down as a club, staff and members. We go through the inventory, and it's like an episode of Top Chef. We're like, all right, what do we got? And then we plan out the menu for the whole week. And we have a staff member named Tim who works some incredibly, he went to culinary school. He's a well-trained chef. And he has some very creative recipes. And, we'll just be thinking about stuff. And people can throw out suggestions like, oh, my grandma has a recipe. We got these sweet potatoes. My grandma has a sweet potato recipe, and we'll do all that. But if we're really in a pinch, he can pull recipes that I've never even heard of, and they're delicious. And, we're just kind of making...
Right. So you said you're making do with what you have.
Exactly.
There's an Italian method of, not even a method of cooking, but it's part of Italy. It's called cucina povera. which is poverty cooking, which is you make do with what you have. And that sounds exactly what you guys are doing.
Well, and what's really cool about the Grand Avenue Club is you get exposed to opportunities. And there's a member that I always think of. He got fired from his job at retail, and he was just kind of aimless for a little bit and was looking around. Joined the club, not for any particular reason, just needed something to do. Got involved in our culinary unit. Never really had culinary experience or anything like that, but just loved it. Like he liked cooking for people. He liked learning recipes from Tim and all that stuff. Well, kind of found his passion for something. I was like, I never really liked retail. We helped him go to UW or MATC culinary school. Got his associate's degree, and he's been working as a prep cook at the Diplomat for the last 6 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so
Dane Baldwin?
Yep, that's his boss. Yeah, we just actually did a video with Dane for our last annual fundraiser. He's a great guy.
Oh yeah,
and
he is very open to hiring people with issues that other people may not hire.
And the member, I mean, he's a very, very good cook. Went to school, and he still comes to the club probably twice a week and cooks for people and all that stuff. And that's kind of the way I look at the club is come and get involved in something. And then we can support you with whatever that path may take you. I don't think when he came here, he ever would have thought I would be going to culinary school and getting a job as a cook, but that's where it led him.
I have to tell you, this brings me back to my childhood. I wish my mother was still alive, because the combination of the toast and the runny yolk and the potatoes, I'm thinking, God, I'm 10 years old again. And Mom is cooking.
What I like to do also is then you put the potatoes in the yolk and soak up some of that too. It's always good.
Just remember the rule. There's no such anything with a fried egg makes it taste better. All right, so I'm gonna take one more bite. So, before you take another bite, thanks so much.
Thank you.
It was great.
I would love to give you a tour sometime. We love giving tours at the club. Anybody who wants to take a tour, go to grandavenueclub.com. You can email outreach. What's that?
.org.
.org. Thank you. Yes, grandavenueclub.org. I know. Wow. You can email outreach at grandavenueclub.org if you or anyone you know experiencing mental illness. The only requirements are being 18 years older and having diagnosed a mental illness. There's no fees or anything. Come take a tour, fill out an application. We love showing the place off.
And you're right downtown at Michigan and Water Street.
Yep, just down the street from Milwaukee Public Market.
There you go. All right. So I want to thank Ben, as always. Appreciate when our guests come, talk about their work in the community, talk about their background, and cook me a good meal. That's the important part.
The gig.
Actually, no, the work in the community is the important part. This is just a great add-on. So thanks so much for taking the time to support Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to another episode of Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is brought to you by Cooking Secrets for Men, LLC, and was recorded in the 3rd Ward in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We feature and profile community leaders who are trying to make Milwaukee a better place. The tagline is, serious people with serious jobs having a little fun. Our guests choose the recipes that we use on the show. All of our podcasts are available on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get great podcasts. The original YouTube video for this episode is available on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men, all rights reserved. Thanks, and see you next time on Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders.